Skarner is Riot's biggest failure ever, and the reasoning behind it is rather complicated and probably unfixable. In 2022, Skarner won the global VGU champion vote, which meant that he would be the next champion Riot would start reworking. There were some other good candidates for the rework, but people really wanted to revive the forgotten Scorpion Boy that was played by like, I don't know, probably like one guy. And so Riot put their team to work, and they told us we would be getting the new reworked Skarner in about a year. So we waited, and we waited. A year passed, and nothing. 2 years passed, and there we go, we finally got it. Woo! Skarner rework is here, baby! A year late, but it's here! Oh my god, I can't wait to see what they've done for him. He's still the same old, boring Scorpion. And his play rate is up like 0.5% after rework. 2 years for just 0.5%. What happened? And what could have Riot done differently to prevent this? Well, there are actually multiple factors on why Skarner rework was a failure. Let me explain. League of Legends reworks are sometimes even more rated than actual champion releases, since people have already played against these champions and they have some expectations. OTPs can't wait to see how their champions are going to be treated, and some players are interested in trying the champion out now that it's up to date with League's core gameplay again. But how does Riot even know how to rework champions? What abilities do they keep? What is too old and what needs to be new and refreshing? How different is the champion gonna look? Is it pretty much the same, or is it a full design overhaul? Well, let me show you this very professional graph on champion reworks and where different champions are placed. Don't worry, this will indeed go back to Skarner's rework. There are 4 categories for League champion reworks. Category 1 is just a plain old simple ASU, art and sustainability update, where a champion is given a new look with new cool model, VFX and voice lines. Ari is one of the newest ASUs, and Lee Sin and Timo will be following soon as well. Category 2 is lol, we just changed one ability, where a champion is getting slightly reworked by giving them a new ability to keep them in the game, because there are like 15 new having champions every year. And they might also get a little ASU on the side. One good example of this was the Ezreal mini rework. Category 3, traditional rework. This category is for champions that need multiple abilities changed and their models redesigned. Most of the champion reworks fall into this category, and this was the original way for Riot to rework pretty much every single character. Some champions that fall into this category are Udyr, Mundo, Nunu, and Taric. And finally, category 4. Fuck you, we removed your champion from the game, and here's a new one. This rework is a complete overhaul of the character, where basically none of the kit survives. Some champions do need this complete overhaul though, since their gameplay just was extremely boring, didn't fit the game anymore, or Riot just decided to be fucking bullies and delete some people's favorite champion. Some champions in this category are Mordekaiser with his rework, where pretty much nothing survived, and Aatrox that got transformed from the reviving Blood Warrior guy to Riven 2.0. Rest in peace, old Aatrox. So, where does Skarner belong to? Well, well, here's the thing. He doesn't really fit any of the categories. Okay, well, I'm kinda lying. He does fit somewhere. He fits into his own category right here. In between traditional rework and fuck you, we removed your champion. Here's a new one. And that category is called the Misfits. See, whenever Riot reworks champions, they want to keep 2 things in mind. Will OTPs like this rework? And will it attract new players? In Skarner case, they kind of forgot to do both. The Skarner rework is initially just too different for older players to enjoy and not interesting enough for new players to start playing. His crystals are gone, that made him really unique, and the mains loved it, and now the passive is just a magic damage dot. Well, that's not fun. Although I do understand that this passive had to be removed due to league map and meta changing a lot, I know, but it could have been something way more interesting. Although, to give credit where credit is due, the new ultimate is actually a really nice redesign that encapsulates the old playstyle of the character. And then the rest of the kit just kinda throws it out the window. And what new did they add to him? Well, he can go through walls. Now, I guess, like, I was actually super excited for this ability when I saw it for the first time. But the movement speed is capped as well, so it's just like not really fun. That's a word I repeated a few times now. Well, because that's what Skarner is. He's boring as shit. And that is his main issue. He's extremely boring to play, he's pretty much just a meat shield for your team, but he isn't even like a meat shield that's fun, like Mundo. He's just like a rock that moves. And what's even worse is that his abilities mainly only scale off of HP, so you're forced to build only HP. They give him some tiny AD and AP scalings on BBE before he went live, and he was actually kind of fun as an AD assassin for a few weeks, and then they completely got that. And now you can only build HP items on him again. Nice! You might remember a few months ago that Skarner was actually quite broken, and everybody hated playing against him, especially in top lane. Because he could just spam his W from Narnia and then all in you out of nowhere and one-shot you while only building tank items. Like, a lot of people were playing Skarner at that point because he was just completely busted. But when he got nerfed to the ground, everybody instantly dropped him. Imagine, he was pretty much the most played character in the game to going dead last in pick rate in just 1 to 2 patches. You know why? Because people realized while playing him a lot that, damn, this shit really sucks, but hey, at least I win. And when they didn't win anymore, there was no reason to play him. And the nail on the coffin why Skarner rework is such a failure is that he's just ugly as hell. I mean seriously, would you want to see this character on your screen every day? Play him in every single game? Hell no. I know what they were trying to go for. They were trying to go for the big scary monster gatekeeper that's protecting Ishtal from the bad guys, and he's kind of like this mythical creature, but in all honesty, it just looks like a grey blob on my screen. And I know that there are a lot of people that really do like monster champions in League of Legends, like this one Canadian guy who still hasn't made his Skarner video. I also like monster champions, when they are done right. Good examples of those would be champions like Kha'Zix, Rek'Sai, Lillia, Vel'Koz. I meant to say Vel'Koz. I would say these are all well-executed monster champions that are still visually appealing. But Skarner, on the other hand, is not. Although, what could a Riot even do? He's just a scorpion. They can't turn him into a flying cyber Pegasus with laser eyes. He must stay as a scorpion. And well, scorpions aren't really the most appealing creatures. So they kinda got fucked by the writers who made the character back in 2011. Although they could have gone for a way more colorful take on the character. The default Skarner skin is just so ugly, Jesus Christ, man. So the reason why the Skarner rework was a failure had multiple factors. The rework is too different for older OTPs, not interesting enough for newer players to get into him. His kit is boring as hell, and he has no build variety, no cool offender builds, nothing. And to top all of that, he's just not a very handsome fellow. So, what could a Riot done differently, and is there any way the champion can be saved? Well, to answer your first question, and this is my own personal opinion on the matter, they should have gone for the category 4 rework, which is, fuck you, we removed your champion, here's the new one. Since the old Skarner player base wasn't the biggest in the world, Riot could have had an opportunity to create a fresh, new kit for him that would have resonated with new players. They should have just said, fuck these players, and remove the champion, just like what happened with Aatrox. Like, Aatrox is legit under 50% win rate, and he is still an incredibly popular champion. They should have just taken the hit from the old players and create a new full kit. Because right now the champion is in a weird limbo state with a new but not so new kit. I mean, the ult is cool, but the E, it just doesn't resonate with the rest of his kit. Some reworks did execute this well though. Nunu's rework was amazing by just pretty much changing one ability, and it just works because everything else in the kit is just so cohesive. Another good example of this rework is Udyr. I used to be an Udyr one-trick. I have the most points on him. I have 500,000 mastery points on Udyr. And I gotta be honest, the Udyr rework was so good. Like, it kept everything that was dear to Udyr in his kit, changed one ability, that's it. And that's all you need for a great rework. But this type of rework just didn't work for Skarner. And then also the design. They could have gone for a more colorful appearance or just not make him a scorpion or a fucking advanced scorpion. This picture is from the original concept arts for Skarner, and my god, most of these concept arts are way better than we got in the game right now. Like, imagine if we got this flying Skarner here. It would have been a great model for the fully revamped kit, like Aatrox. And I think that's what Riot should have done, but that's not what happened. we are stuck with this guy. Is there any way the rework Skarner can be saved? I think there is. Riot would have to adjust some of the abilities to be more appealing to new players and make more build options for him that people can have fun with. They should give him some better AD ratios like they did before when he was released, or make his E scale with movement speed, AD, AP, or anything pretty much. If Riot doesn't do any of the following things or improve his gameplay any other way, I fear that Skarner will be the first champion to be forgotten twice. Damn, that was some Shakespearean shit.